Hi, I'm Alex, and this is my first ever video created for YouTube. I'm a huge fan of virtual reality and an equally big fan of Balatro. So I thought to myself, how would these two fit together? How would a Balatro VR would look like? I mean, you can already play the game using remote apps like Virtual Desktop or Big Screen Beta. A YouTuber, Virtual Steve, even managed to get it running natively on Quest. But I was thinking about a more immersive experience, something where you can hold the cards in your hand. So after a lot of trial and error, I created a little Unity project, a proof of concept, if you will. So let's dive in. So just a small downside right from the start. I really tried to implement a touch-oriented input system. However, with the Steam version and the way my project handles the screen, it ended up feeling clunky and counterintuitive. Additionally, using a laser pointer style system where you point at the cards left my hands and wrists in an unnatural position, so I decided to scrap that idea altogether. Alright, let's start with mods I use in Balatro. A big thanks to VGPerson for the gamepad style keyboard controls mod, which you can find on Nexus. With this mod, I can use the touch controllers as a game controller. While Virtual Desktop has a similar option, it doesn't provide controller tracking for my Unity project. The other mod I use is the No Background for VR by DPS 2004. This mod was originally made for the previously mentioned Virtual Steve on Discord. My Unity project uses the same pinkish skybox, and with the pass-through option in Virtual Desktop, you only see the game. So here we are in my project. Basically what it does, it takes a screenshot of my desktop every frame and project it onto a canvas. As you can see, I've already added a few extras like a pack of cards on the right side and flying cards as replacement for the missing background. First, let me show you a gameplay loop. On the right side, I've added some arrows to reposition the game. This allows me to adjust whether I'm playing on my desk or somewhere else. Since my project is essentially just a screenshot of a game, I can split it into multiple pieces and place them wherever they fit. For example, the one info is now positioned on the right side. You'll see why in just a moment. I think Balatro is a tabletop game at its core, so some of the menus are placed flat on the ground to match that theme. And here we are at the main game. The cards are on my left hand because I grew up holding them there, which is why the one info is positioned differently, but would block the view otherwise. It's really nice to have these cards floating with a scale that matches a real card. Selecting, playing and discarding cards can currently be done with a controller, like mentioned before, just using the same controls as the console version of the game. So let's try to score some points. The recording of the Quest 3 doesn't fully do it justice. The quality of the game is still pixelated, of course, but everything appears slightly bigger than just on the screen. Right now I'm focused on the cards, so the camera doesn't show the points, but everything is clearly visible almost all the time. I had to edit the Balatro source code to get some information about the game's current state. When you are back at the shop, it transitions to a tabletop style menu again. To compensate for the missing background visuals, I added a little card rain effect that appears while buying a playing card or a joker. Next, I'd like to show you some enhancements for the gameplay. For example, if I want to discard these cards, I can, of course, press the discard button, but I can also simply throw them away. Literally just toss them over my shoulder. Watch this. 3, 2, 1, gone. Wanna see me do it again? Next up, playing cards can be done again by simply using the play button. But as you might notice, there's a floating ship showing the current stake and Plines. I can just hand over my cards to the ship to play. So let's play a few rounds and then we'll move to the next feature. While playing, pay attention to the pack of cards on the right side. It can change its color to reflect the currently chosen deck. Also, its height adjusts based on the number of cards left in the pack. So I discarded some cards and the pack got smaller. Normally if I want to know which cards are left in the deck, I press the shoulder button on the gamepad. However, if I did that here, you'd see that it covers the entire screen, which ruins the magic. To solve this elegantly, I simply hover my right hand above the deck to bring up the screen with the information. The last thing I'd like to show you are Augmented Jokers. I switched over to the yellow deck and got some starting money for the desired cards, so don't mind that. Augmented Jokers are meant to enhance and visualize the Jokers, making it easier to see important information quickly. I start with my favorite Joker, the Castle. The Castle is a small figurine that looks coincidentally like the Joker card itself. I added a little flag that shows the current bonus card, which switches each round. Luckily, in this role I also got the mail in rebate Joker. This one turns into a mailbox with the desired card written on it, helping me know which cards to discard in order to score. I'll show you some of the Augmented Jokers. Don't mind the quality of them. I grabbed some from Unity's free asset store or made them myself. They don't fit perfectly like the castle, but you will get the idea. Here we have the popcorn and the seltzer. The popcorn is a sphere on a cylinder and the sphere gets smaller each round. The test tube, representing the seltzer, losing its fluid with each hand. I play quickly to show the differences. In its last round, the test tube loses its cork, adding a more dramatic effect to the final drops. Meanwhile, the popcorn only has the unpopped kernels left and will disappear shortly after. Here we have a banner, also quickly painted, and notice the 3 black stripes, which correspond to the number of discards left. These will turn into 2, then 1, and if no discards are left, it will turn into a completely white flag. I got the ancient Joker, but I forgot to record it. It's similar to the castle, showing the coin suit. The positions of the Jokers are semi-random, which is why they pointed now towards the wall. Another one of my favorite Augmented Jokers is the loyalty card. It actually puts stamps on it, which I never understood why the real game doesn't do. I also got a Bull Joker with a lot of money, allowing me to breeze through the rounds now to show you the fact. Since each state of a Joker is a Unity prefab, I forgot to scale the size of the last prefab to match the real loyalty card. It's unintentional, but it gets the job done, showing that the score is now quadrupled. While the loyalty card gets its stamps, I can quickly tell you about the project. This was just a personal dream to test out how Balatro would look like in VR. I did a lot of workarounds and adjustment to make it work on my PC. Since I also had to edit the Balatro source code to extract some information, I cannot distribute or publish this Unity project. I really hope someone can take this as an inspiration to create a fully fledged VR version. Now back to the Augmented Jokers. I didn't create all of them. There are many more that could benefit from being augmented, like the ice cream that melts or the idol, but I didn't want to create 52 prefabs. You've already saw that when a Joker is purchased, a card win effect is triggered. Purchasing a Spectral card or Planet card produces a different effect, while in the shop or when the Supernova, Satellite or Constellation Joker is equipped, stars surround the player, creating a cozy, spacey-like atmosphere. For a brief moment it was shown that turning around always reveals the full canvas of the game. In case of any Joker information swapped out, I can always turn around, ensuring everything was visible. The last Augmented Joker is, of course, the most important and most informative one. Le Gros Michel. In this round I got it in the first shop, and it will go instinct right afterward. The Cavendish is also just a gimmick with a twist. It's a glowing banana that can oversaturate the other Jokers, causing them to lose their information. I had it in one round with the Ancient Joker where the suit was no longer visible. So let's get rid of the Cavendish. Lastly, I'd like to answer a question that no one asked yet. Can you cheat with boss Plines where the cards are face down? And there you have it. This is the concept of how Balatro VR would look like. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment your ideas on how Balatro VR could be implemented. What features do you want to see? I know that the touch input system is missing, but please don't mention that as it bothers me the most. Like and subscribe, although I don't know how many videos I'll be creating in the future. Thank you for watching.